pumping enough in the chambers to perfuse blood? They're not. They could die of anoxic brain injury because of lack of perfusion to the brain. Pretty much miles right there. See how that works? So you need to, in emergent situations, you need to give a vasopressor. And that's usually an adrenergic receptor, A1 stimulator. Now, let's do alpha-1 blockers. Who in this class here knows some of the meds that go into the alpha blockers? I know you guys know. Good. Good. And mostly males take these. The ones for BPH. That's Lasix, that's Frozen, it's diuretic, it's a loopy. Huh? Oh, she's talking erectile dysfunction already. She said, Edie, that's a phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitor. We'll talk about that later, that's a good point. Because you don't want to give too many dilators. The osins, doxycycline, trazocin. That's simple. So remember that word root in PHARM, osins equals alpha-1 blockers. Alpha-1 blockers, and we drink. So we have what, doxycycline, oh, this is on your first test. Doxycycline, trazocin, docin, and then, what's the other one? There's one other. Tamulocin, yeah. Tamulocin. So they're all osins, would y'all agree? Are those alpha-1 stimulators or alpha blockers? Blockers. Because what are they gonna do to that urethra and prostate down there? Dilate it. So the guy doesn't have urine reflux. What's the problem with urine reflux? Hydronephrosis. Can you kill out your kidneys if you have too much engorgement of fluid in your kidneys? So what we're doing for them is we're dilating that urethra so they can do what? Pee. That's right. These guys who have BPH, it's not, maybe they don't want to do as conservative measures, right? We give an alpha blocker. It's so easy. This stuff is easy. You'll see. You'll get it. Okay, good. Osins, alpha blockers. Now, let's talk about, oh man. What time do I have? 44. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna do the betas next, okay? Because this one is gonna twist your brain a little bit. You think that did? No. This is actually easy. Okay, let's talk about what, if I stimulate, and see if you guys can figure this out. Where do the V1 receptors live?
Lungs.
Heart, right? Where specifically? SA, no, and also on the vessels in the heart too, the coronary vessels. So if I stimulate those B1 receptors in the heart, what's gonna happen to my heart rate? It's gonna go up. So we give a lot. Would you consider those vasopressors? Are they gonna make your heart rate go up too? Just think adrenaline chemically. What does adrenaline do to your heart? You know, the fight or flight, right? Heart rate up, vasoconstrict, so you can run and fight. Run or fight, right? Fight or flight. So, stimulate B1s, you're gonna get increased heart rate. Really easy. Now, what are the sparks? Beta blockers. What do they do to the heart rate? It lowers it. And just remember this, that the beta blockers, its primary desired clinical effect is decreasing the heart rate. It is an antihypertensive because it will vasodilate, but you know why we give beta blockers is for cardioprotection after the myocardium is damaged. Oh, are we gonna go into that tomorrow? You guys, it's so much fun. Beta blockers save lives, you would not believe, chronically. It really protects that myocardial heart from breaking down even more after a myocardial infarction, heart failure, valvular issues, all of that. So yeah, so you stimulate B1 receptors, heart rate's gonna go up. You block them, like, oh, what are your drugs under the beta blocker category? They end in? Oh, you guys have been taught so well. Yeah, LOL, metoprolol, labetalol, there's a lot of lols, or a few, there's not a lot, but they're all lols. So metoprolol is one of the most popular, a lol, right there. Okay, so that's your beta blocker. And I asked them in clinical, what are they blocking? And my students would say, the betas. I said, not quite. The best way to describe it would be the beta adrenergic insult to the heart. I've listened to plenty of cardiologists, and that's what they say, that the beta blockers, they block the adrenergic insult to the heart, because to a damaged heart, it is an insult, meaning that it'll break it down and they'll get worsening heart failure. It is so it is blocking that beta adrenergic insult to the heart. Oh, not only does it lower the heart rate, open up the give more filling so it can perfuse the heart itself. Guess what it does to the vessels in the heart, coronary? Does it dilate the coronary vessels? Yes. The whole goal to a bad heart is perfusion to the heart muscle, I promise. And by blocking the V1 receptors throughout the body, is it also going to dilate the vessels? But really, primarily, you'll find most of them in your heart, the V1. Now, V2, when you stimulate a V2 receptor, first of all, where they live? Lungs. Yes, your lungs. That's how you know this. V1, one heart, V2, two lungs, right? So, when you give your albuterol, which is an adrenergic, what would you call that classification of drug? It's, yeah, beta-2 agonist, definitely, it's stimulating, but albuterol is a bronchodilator. Yes, good. I didn't want to give you the answer. I knew you knew it. I knew you knew it. But it is an agonist. She's absolutely right. So it's a V2 agonist which will bronchodilate for people who have asthma or restricted airway and constricted airway. So yeah. So we're going to have bronchodilation when you stimulate. I remember it, and I'll tell you a story here in a second. Now, watch this. You're going to love this next thing because it's a test question. Actually, all these are test questions, by the way. So you have to know what happens when you stimulate something or when you block something. They're all going to be on there. When you block a B2 receptor in the lungs, now what do you get? Bronchoconstriction. Could you kill somebody? Yeah. Watch this. This is a test. This is a good test question too. I love this. So you get bronchoconstriction. Oh my goodness. But watch this. Can you cause bronchoconstriction with a B1 blocker? Yes. Yes, you can. So you've got to assess your patient. Maybe the doc doesn't know that they have a history of asthma and they've ordered a non-selective beta blocker. That's really where it comes in at, terminology-wise. Because some of these ones, they're not completely selective. I see the evidence out there. But anyway, my point is, be very cautious with your non-selective beta blocker. Because if you give a B1, it's not only going to block the B1 receptors in the SA node, it can also block the B2s in the lungs, causing a very bad asthma event there. And certainly if you can, most of the people come in with status asthmaticus, usually they're kids, that's terrifying enough. But even with adults, you've got to, if they're on a beta blocker, watch this. Always get that history. And especially if they're ordering a low pressor, like they're in critical care and they order a low pressor drip, which is really right to the point, make sure that they do not have asthma, that you're going to be killing them in the next couple of hours. Yeah. Okay. I feel really good because we got everything that I wanted to do. What time are we out of here, like right now?
Yep.
Did I go over 5 minutes?
No.
It's at 50, because I think that AH2 is 45. Okay, you guys did really good today. Next week, I'm gonna actually, please look at your list that I sent you. Did I send you the study focus list? Okay, so I'm gonna work on no next week, okay?